Okay, so I've got more RCC stories to tell, but I haven't written them down, and so I'm gonna just tell this last one, kind of a transition one, and then I'm gonna get over to Humboldt State. I want to talk about a commune I came in contact with there, and after the Synanon one, which is kind of a sad story, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to do more of an optimistic one, although this transition here is not that optimistic. So let's see how we can get started on this. I kind of tabbed into RCC and Sandy's, okay, the restaurant I was working at. So I was really spinning my wheels. After 3 years, I only had one full year of college credit at RCC. So I wasn't going too fast. So that would take me 12 years to do a diploma. So that wasn't going to make it. I had reasons. I mean, I was married. I have kids. I was working full time. There were lots of good excuses, but that wasn't going to help pay the bills in the future. It wasn't going to give me a diploma. Anyway, so I decided to do something which at the time seemed a little extreme. I asked the boss at Sandy's to give me Tuesdays and Thursdays off. Okay, break them up into two separate days. They were weekdays, and so I could go to work full time and also go to school full time because their classes at RCC went Tuesdays and Thursdays or Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so I don't remember. Maybe I heard somebody doing that, so it just seemed like a good idea to me, and I thought I'll give it a shot. Full time, yeah. I didn't know if it would work, but in those days. At RCC, classes started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they kept going until 10 o'clock at night. Usually it was a whole different crew. It was, the morning students were the ones that were younger, just out of high school, and the evening ones were, people going back after many years. They were married, they were, older, military, stuff like that. Anyway, the whole campus would shut down for a lunch break around noon. There were no classes offered from noon to 1. And they did the same for a dinner break, I think from 5 to 6 or 6 to, I think it was 5 to 6. Yeah, 5 to 6. Anyway, so I filled in all the other hours of classes. I got a headache just thinking about it. I don't remember what I took, but I pretty much needed everything. It's the second year of study, okay? So I just kept signing up. The first semester, I think I had 21 credit hours over those 2 days, and that's, 15 is usually considered full-time, so 21 was a lot. Even 12 could be considered full-time. I remember on Tuesday nights, I'd finish up in David MacCuish's writing class. I wrote about him earlier at 10 o'clock. And he never ended early. It'd be 10 o'clock, 10:01, just never early. And I would always, every single Tuesday, I had a headache by the end of the day. It got to be when I woke up on Tuesday morning, I just knew ahead of time. Before the day is finished, I will have a headache. I don't know what was worse, knowing it was coming or getting the actual headache. I'd catch a few hours sleep Tuesday night, and then I would be up cooking breakfast at Sandy's. I'd have to get up at 7 a.m., so I must have got up earlier than that. So I had to be there at 7, maybe sometimes at 6 even. Anyway, after lunch rush, I would clean up. I would clock out at 3 o'clock, change my shirt, and then head to class again. Because I found if I had to work for the school newspaper, and I was working on that on Wednesday evenings. That's when we were a weekly newspaper. We put it together that night. My hands would always smell like fish and onions. Even if I only made one order of fish or one order of onions, that's the odor they picked up: fish or onions or both. But I found if I washed them in mouthwash, that, I don't know if it got rid of the odor, but it disguised it. So, and I just pretty much had to do that all the time when I worked there. Anyway, so the RCC newspaper was called Viewpoints. We'd get together and we put together the school newspaper. I enjoyed it. It was a group of us, and I didn't have headaches on Wednesday. It was on Tuesday, so it was okay. Work was like a day off. School was a nightmare. Going to work, it was like, just cook. Just cook. Oh, there's nobody's asking me to solve anything. I loved it compared to the schoolwork. So whenever people tell you, I gotta work all day. No. School's harder. It is. It's harder. Anyway, everything's much simpler now with desktop publisher. Really, everyone I meet is a publisher now. You all do what I used to do. But in those days, the computers didn't do the publishing for us. We had to print thin strips of text. It came out on kind of a glossy paper, and we would cut it out, and we would have to put hot glue on the back. It sounds archaic now, doesn't it? And then put it on a template, and so make it ready for a photograph. They're going to photograph that piece there. Anyway, so even though it sounds archaic at the time, it was different from the offset where they did individual letters by metal. It's hard to even believe people used to do that, isn't it? Yeah, we've come a long way. Anyway, at the last minute, we usually had to create headlines, prepare the photos, sometimes write the last bit of copy, to fill in the spaces and cover a hole. But I had to go. I was the editor, and I wanted to be a writer someday, so I thought, well, I just got to go, and I can't skip this event. So I went every Wednesday. Once again, if we were lucky, we would wander home, get out of there about 10 o'clock. But like I said, I usually didn't have a headache. So cooking was stress-free, and I enjoyed the camaraderie with Janice Abraham. She was the advisor, staff, and I enjoyed the time. I don't know if they enjoyed me, but I enjoyed them a lot. Anyway, so it was like a day off. The next day I would be back at school at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I remember professors tried to assign me work on Tuesdays and say, have this turned in on Thursday. And I just laughed. You get really bold when you're tired. Nobody can intimidate you. And I just laughed and told them my schedule and said, I can't get it done on Thursday. I said, I don't, unless I don't sleep, because I'm not going to have it done. So I said, it'll be done a week from today. And they said, okay. So they gave me the week. And anyway, so Friday through Monday, does that make sense? Yeah, I would work nonstop. So I wouldn't have, did I say Friday through Monday? I guess it would be more Saturday, right? Because I went to classes on Friday. I don't think I worked Friday evening. It was all day hours. I don't know why, but they gave me all day hours. So Saturday and Sunday and Monday, I'd be working nonstop, trying to earn what cash I could. But it really didn't feel like a burden. It was, like I said, working was kind of the time I could relax. Much easier than schoolwork. And I usually sang my way through every shift. I just enjoyed it. I kept it up for a full school year, September through June, and when I was ready to collapse, at the end of it, I couldn't quite see doing the same thing for another 2 years, working full time and going to school full time. I thought it was going to probably do me in. I got 1 year out of it. So, yeah, I thought something's got to change here. I've got to really make a decision about what I'm going to do for the future. I've got 2 years of university. I need 2 years more to get my degree. But RCC and Sandy's were conspiring to put me into an early grave. Something had to change.